Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Brain Muffin at the Movies. And here we have Jar Jar himself, or, well, someone speaking for him. So Gregory Wakeman from Yahoo Entertainment website. JJ Abrams has promised to learn from the tepid response to Star Wars. You know what? He made a tepid movie. It's lukewarm. You know, even in the New Testament, you know, if you're not hot or cold, I'll spit you out. Also insisting that his aim with the final installment to the saga was merely to make audiences feel good. Yeah, that's what he did with the first one. See, he didn't even give us something to build off of. People keep excusing The Force Awakens, but it started this whole mess. According to Variety, Abrams made his declaration on Tuesday at the 2020 Upfront Summit in Los Angeles, where he was discussing his decision to bring more diversity to the Star Wars. Oh my God, this again and again. His decision is to bring more diversity, not better storytelling. How about you make a better story and then you worry about diversity after the fact? Make the whole thing about a great story and no one will care. You know, that you could have as diverse a cast as you want, but if it's a poor story, that's all people are going to talk about. That's all people are still talking about. All three of these movies have horrible, horrible, horrible stories. But arguably the most illuminating aspect of Abrams' comment were his acknowledgement that The Rise of Skywalker didn't please a lot of viewers and his vow to examine and learn from the experience. So, again, when you try to please everyone, you please no one. I mean, how many times do you have to... Okay, anyway, I digress. The truth is that there are things that are meant to entertain people, to make them feel... What? The truth is that these are... Okay, see, it really, really, really helps when you read an S instead of an R, is that these are things that are meant to entertain people, to make them feel good, to feel something. Again, I'm skipping around. Hopefully make them feel good. You know, the original ones were, yes, they were entertaining, but they were telling a good story first. Tell a good story first. Obviously, it doesn't always work, like never, because you know what the heck you're doing. It's hard when it doesn't, and when it doesn't, you have to understand it, you have to acknowledge it, you have to examine it. Yeah, well, the first one didn't work either. Yeah, you pulled in a lot of money, but it was a horrible movie. Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker was met with a tepid response from critics, so much so that it only amassed a score of 52. That's interesting. The critical consensus on the website said the film suffers from a frustrating lack of imagination, but concludes this beloved saga with a fan-focused devotion. The saga ended in 93 or 83. Okay, this should be the next chapter. It should be the next generation. There was a very interesting reason why Roddenberry decided to call it Star Trek: The Next Generation, and that's what they should have done with this. And either you literally have the next generation, you have a handoff, or you just kind of acknowledge that in the past. Not, very similar to the way Next Generation did it. You had, they had callbacks with Spock. They had some stuff with Scotty later on. They had DeForest Kelley was in the pilot. He was I think it's just listed as the Admiral, but it's Bones, okay? But they pay homage and respect to the past. They don't dwell on it, and they move off of it. Some of those early episodes, and granted, it took them a couple seasons to get their feet, but some of those early episodes were built off of episodes in the past, whereas you guys just took a dump on the past, especially Rian Johnson. In the early stages, we talked about if we have this moment, this privilege, what do we do? What do we want to do with it? And not from a place of being preachy or feeding people spinach. What? I missed something completely. Oh, Abrams and Bad Robot's co-CEO Katie McGrath are at least proud of the fact that they made the galaxy far, far away much more diverse with, again, okay, there is a perception that it was all white. The main stars, I guess you could say, but you're talking, 4 or 5 people? You have... Billy D. Williams, they're acting like he doesn't Lando plays a very pivotal role in both The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. His past with Han leads him to some of his decisions, his self-centered decisions, which he then comes to regret. And then he basically sticks it to the Empire by helping to blow up the second Death Star. So, and then if you look at clips, there are women pilots. There's some of them, granted, and part of having the Empire be very monotonous, homogeneous is what I'm looking for, was on purpose. Okay. Then in the prequels, you had a lot of diversity. You had, and again, it's this, they're only concentrating on the humans, if you will, the humanoids of the Star Wars. And they're not concentrating on all of the aliens and everything else. They're just going by skin tone. And this is so degrading. This is so frustrating and so maddening. It shows where the real racism is in these people. So their preachiness, and it's not, they were preachy. That was the problem. They didn't tell a good story first. Just from a place of anytime you have okay, so I already read that. We thought about building the story with a female protagonist instead of, in which they screwed up. Instead of our four main characters, one of whom was Latina. Okay, again, they're supposed to be non-human. This is a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. They look human, but they're not necessarily have to be human. So this whole concept of having earthbound stupidity, like Nigerian Londoner, is absolutely stupid. Okay, absolutely goes against what Star Wars is about and the whole point of it. Star Trek avoids this somewhat, although, you know, the original series is set in the 60s and you do have the Russian and all that other stuff, but that's earthbound storytelling. Okay. Starfleet is on Earth and it uses people from all over the Earth. This is not set on Earth. So to have Earth boundaries set in the story is just plain stupid. Okay. One of whom was a woman, a white, okay. One of whom was a white guy. What? A Nigerian, one of whom was a woman. I guess that's the Latina. I don't even know. How can we find a way to have every kid who's going to, you know what? No one had a problem with the movies before. Okay. Except you people, the true fans of it in the past, anybody could be Luke or Leia, I mean, I know black kids that played and pretended to be Luke Skywalker and wanted to be Han Solo. Some of them wanted to be, Lando Calrissian. And, anyway, I should have learned lessons from the TLJ flashback. Nobody wanted or needed Ryan to do his own thing and be edgy. Okay. He blew it in The Force Awakens. One scene with Luke, Han, and yep, absolutely. I agree. Oh my God. The last quote just showed me so much what was wrong with these movies. If you were actually putting time and effort into making a movie diverse instead of making it good, you've already failed. Well-rounded characters and a cohesive story are relatable for everyone, absolutely. They're just, they're saying what I'm agreeing with me. Unfortunately, Last Jedi, which Abrams did not direct, was PC preachy. They all were PC preachy. The problem with the last three movies of the series was they were very similar to the plots of New Hope. They were. I thought movie was okay. I had fun. And, to me, it was just a bunch of payoffs without any setup. So anyway, I don't want to read anymore. So again, this shows what's wrong with Hollywood, and they're just completely stuck in identity politics and dividing people as opposed to trying to bring us all together. We're all humans. It shouldn't matter. If you tell a good story, only those who only see color and so-called race are going to say, well, it's a bunch of white guys or a bunch of black guys or it doesn't matter. If you tell a good story, you'll get the audience in. And so they put stories so far in the back burner, they forgot to tell one. And that's why the Rise of Skywalker is a complete and utter mess. There's no story to wrap up. There was no story to begin with. And that's why Rian Johnson was able to do what he did and just go on his own. So there you go. So what do you think? Can you wait for the next installment of Star Wars? It's even more diverse and more preachy, or are you done? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for stopping by, and we will see you. Goodbye. All right. I still can't. All right. That's better. Okay. Check. Looks. Oh, holy cow. That's way low. Even for that. All right. That's a bit better. All right. About a little bit there. Okay. Yeah. That's good. Bye. 3, 2, 1.